Um, and I'm going to hit record too. So every month, the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office is sharing about the latest King County Drug Diversion Court graduates. And one important way to do that is by directly highlighting some of the folks who are graduating the program and their hard work and experiences. And we're joined today by Kwan, and thank you so much again for being here, Kwan. And Kwan is one of the 7 folks who are graduating today. And so Kwan, just thanks again for being here and sharing your story. I wonder, just to kind of kick things off, if you could just start by sharing how you're feeling today as you graduate from the program. And then we could open the call up for questions and discussion.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me. I'm actually feeling good. You know, I feel really good about what I've accomplished in drug court, and I'm, you know, to answer your question, I feel really good about graduating. Yeah.
That's great. And you know, we have 3 folks on the call at least, so I can ask questions, but Amy, Natalie, other folks, if you'd like to jump in, Hannah, feel free.
Great, thank you. Hi, yeah, my name's Amy. I'm a reporter at KUOW, and I've heard about these graduations. I'm not quite sure what they involve. Is there an event later today, or how does that work?
Yeah, at 9 o'clock, all the graduates are gonna link on the Zoom platform, and then all the other drug court staff and maybe some family members and friends of the graduates will be there, and then they'll do a little graduation ceremony.
Great. Can you take us through kind of what the process was like for you, and was it a hard decision to engage in drug court for you?
Yes, at first, before I got into drug court, I was in jail, and I had spoken with an attorney about drug court, and I wasn't too familiar with the whole program, but it was a get out of jail card, so I was interested in it, you know. And then after I got engaged into drug court, you know, it's everything. They have a lot of resources, and they provide housing, and just everything sounded good, you know. And I just wanted to get out of jail and get into housing, and you know, I wasn't interested in getting clean, honestly, but you know, I wanted to do whatever I wanted to do to get out of jail at the time. And then drug court started happening, and they have a structure in place where, you know, at least for me, you know, it gave me a chance to change my life. You know, without the structure they had in place, I wouldn't have been able to change my life. You know, they had us go to meetings, you know. There's 5 phases in drug court. And then in phase 2, they ask a lot of you. And then in phase 3, that tapers down a little bit. Phase 4, it tapers down. Phase 5, it tapers down. So phase 3 and 4, 2, 3, and 4 was pretty tough. But you know, as I was saying, there's a structure in place where you have to go to meetings, you have to go to UAs. They give you housing. They put you in a housing with other people in the same situation as me, and it helped me slowly change my life, you know, and wanting to stay clean and sober became a little bit easier and easier, and just everything fell in place. And now I don't want to get high anymore. I'm more interested in making money, working, and I just care about things again, you know. I just care about my credit score. I care about what other people think about me. I care about my relationship with my family and friends, and you know, it was a blessing in disguise, but you know, I feel very lucky that I went through the experience because I needed it, or else there's no way I would have changed. I would have, who knows, I could be dead, honestly, you know, and if not dead, I know I would still be stuck in my addiction, 100% for sure.
Well, can you tell us how long did you struggle with addiction before drug court?
I am 42 years old now. So I started, well, I started smoking weed and drinking alcohol in high school. And in my early 20s is when I found out about Percocets. They're, I'm sure you guys heard of them. They're pills that get you high. They're opiate pills. And I was on Percocets for till about I was in my mid 30s. And Percocet pills on the streets are really expensive. And so, you know, so to answer your question, I was in my early 20s and I was taking Percocets till I was about mid 30s. And then I decided to go to heroin because heroin is a lot cheaper than Percocets. And and then I've been on heroin and meth since my mid 30s.
Can I ask you, I know you got housing through drug court and obviously your full-time job, which you sound really excited about. Is there any one aspect, or was it all of that collectively that you think helped you be successful in this?
Number one, I needed the housing because there's no way anybody, in my opinion, there's no way that anybody could get clean and sober if they're already in that addiction. To get clean and sober without a different environment, without a safe environment, and without the support that you need to get clean. So number one, housing, you know, was definitely number one. And then number two, having a job was another thing that really kept me clean. Without housing and without the job, because with the job you stay busy and, you know, you keep yourself thinking about other things than drugs, you know. So housing and work has really helped me with my recovery, as well as, you know, all the other stuff that I got involved in as far as like meetings and stuff. But housing and my job for me was the most important.
Does it help to build your confidence kind of back up?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Having a job again, you know, just interacting with clean and sober people and just talking with customers and just laughing and, you know, just doing other things than running around trying to find drugs. You know, it definitely builds your character again and just makes you feel like a human again, you know, just interacting with other normal human beings.
Did you say what kind of work you're doing, or can you describe it a little bit?
Yeah, I work at a grocery store. I work in the produce department. I work at Grocery Outlet. I've been there for 1.5 years now. Yeah.
Do you You've have been- hopes and kind of dreams now moving forward for the future that maybe you didn't have before?
You know, before I got into my addiction, before I got into you know, I've you know, I guess everybody has that motivation to be successful, you know, when they're younger. And then I lost that during my addiction. And then now, yeah, and now I got that back, you know. You know, I started caring about just life again, you know, and just wanting to buy a house and wanted to get my license back and just getting motivation to do good in life again. Yes, I got that back.
What kind of reaction have you had from family or friends as you've kind of gone on this journey?
Oh man, my family, you know, I haven't talked to my family probably good 3-4 years before I got into drug court, and then I got reconnected with them in the program. So like family members got a hold of me, and they started crying, and they were really excited. They were just telling me, life happens, don't ever leave us like that again. And everyone's really happy. My parents, I got my relationship back with my parents, which is like the most important thing that I cherish the most out of everything I've accomplished, is getting my relationship back with my parents. So like my family and friends are really happy that I'm doing well again.
I'm
oh,
just
sorry.
wondering, how much credit do you give to this drug court program, and where do you think you'd be without it?
I mean, I honestly, I give them all the credit. Like I mentioned before, they have a structure in place, that allowed me to slowly engage back into the community, and just kept me away from drugs. Even though I didn't want to get clean, I didn't want to go to prison, because if you don't graduate, the alternative is that you can go to prison. And it's a program that allows us to get away from going to prison, and that was a big motivation. And so with that in mind, I did everything I had to do that's required, the drug court asked of me to do. And while doing those things that they wanted me to do, it helped me get back into becoming clean and just getting back into working. And so I give them all the credit. It wouldn't have happened without them.
Do you think
Well-
this is something that can work really with other, like people you used to use with? Is it an opportunity that would be helpful for a lot of people that you used to know?
If they know what I've gone through and what other successful graduates have gone through, I know that it will motivate a lot of the people that wants to quit, because if the person doesn't want to quit, it's not going to happen. No matter, even if you flash $1 million in front of them, they're not going to quit. It's a disease that's really ugly. And but if a person has a little bit of inspiration to want to quit and get their life back, and if they don't know about drug court, and they see what drug court has to offer and what it has done for other people that's graduated, that plant that's been planted in their mind, that seed will start to grow a little bit more than they probably think it will, because it feels impossible to get clean. But once they realize what drug court has to offer, and they do, and if they find out about it, yeah, I believe it will be good for them.
Is there anything that could have, worked better, do you have any feedback on any part of the process that you felt like could have been more helpful to you? Or
From my experience, when I first got into housing, some of the people I was in there with, I didn't get along with too well. And I don't know if that was the people, or I don't know if that was me coming back from my addiction. I don't know, but it was difficult for me at first in housing. I had a hard time with a couple of the people in my housing, and I kind of wanted to leave. But if there's any way to I don't know, weed out, I don't know, I guess you can't really weed out anybody. Yeah, I guess for me, just it was difficult to relate with some of the people in housing, when I first got in. So that was probably the hardest part for me.
Who do you go to throughout drug court if you're having a conflict or a problem like that? Is there a single person, or is it clear?
Well, there's a house manager in every house. I'm in a housing called Kate's house. And in Kate's house there is a house manager, and whenever there's a situation that arrives, we talk to the house manager, or there's Frank and Sherry who runs the Kate Foundation. They're really nice people. They tell us we can call them, or we can call people at drug court. But the first person we would contact is that person in the house manager.
I guess I'd be curious, we hear a lot about other programs where there's case workers doing outreach to people who have addiction. Do you think that can work without putting people in jail? Will people seek help and accept help without, that kind of leverage hanging over them?
I think it will help them, but honestly, I don't think they would join the program or the outreach with 2 feet in 100%, because they're still going to want to get high. It has to be a little bit. There has to be a strict situation in place where the person, can't get high. But I mean, they're always going to want help, but it's another story to get him to commit to it 100%, so I mean it will help, but I don't think honestly, I don't know, that's a tough question. Yeah.
How long was the whole process for you from when you first made the decision to start with drug court?
Well, I joined, it's been about 20, it's been 2.5 years. Yeah, since I first got introduced to drug court. It's been about 2.5 years. Yeah.
Question for you. So that whole time, has much of it been virtual? And if so, was that a challenge as far as meetings and services?
I had got into Kate's housing. I got released from work release because of COVID. They were starting to kick people out of jail and stuff like that. And I had got into housing right around when COVID just started hitting really bad. And since then, most of the stuff went virtual. So my experience with the virtual setting has been good, because it cuts time for me having to physically go to the meeting, because I'm working full time. And so, I mean, I like it better. Like it's been a positive experience for me, the virtual process. Yeah, experience.
Is your housing locked in for the foreseeable future, or is there like a timeline where it's transitional and you have to seek something else?
It's transitional. After I graduate, I got a 2-month extension, and drug court is helping me try to get into a different housing. So we're in the we're in the process of doing that. And if I want to, I can stay at Kate's housing, but I would have to pay, my own way. Drug court won't be paying for my way after 2 months.
Have 5 or 7 more minutes. If folks have any final questions.
I don't think so, but I just want to say congratulations. And I'm really struck when you say that you care about things again. I mean, that's, that's amazing. So hope you have a great graduation celebration today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Congratulations. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yes,
welcome. Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you. Okay.
Congrats, Kwan. All right,
Thank you.
buddy.
Okay.